Hi everybody, this is Kim from PACII and welcome back to the channel. Today I will have a review for you of this menstrual cup from Norway. It's called Flove, like glove. I checked, I asked them how to pronounce it. So that's what's going to be on the agenda today, and it shouldn't be very long. It's a pretty simple, basic menstrual cup that I tried in the last 2 cycles. But before I get to the review, and if you are bored and don't want to hear any of this, you can skip it. I did have a couple little announcements and things to say that are somewhat off topic. Beginning with a thank you to everyone who is subscribed, because we did just finally reach the 50,000 subscriber milestone. I will show you my non-existent plaque. I'm still very excited and thankful that you're here and want to hear all about menstrual cups, and so that is something to be thankful for, and that's it. The other exciting little tidbit of news is that it is PACII's 5-year anniversary. So 5 years ago, PACII started with just the mission to advocate for menstrual cups and tell people there are other options than tampons and pads. And 5 years ago, that was a mission that really needed to be championed because not many people knew they existed. And here we are with Shape and health magazines and Cosmo and Vogue, BBC News, NPR, all of these places taking up the topic of menstrual cups, talking about menstrual cups, which in itself was considered pretty taboo even 5 years ago. So I like to think that PACII and the mission there and the website and the quiz and the community, all those things have had some small role in pushing that forward, and something I'm personally very proud of. That being said, I do actually have a review to talk about, and again, this is the brand Flove. With my southern accent, I think it's maybe a little more of an than they intended, but Flove is a menstrual cup brand from Norway. They have really fun, poppy, kind of irreverent packaging that I love, and it is recyclable, so it isn't just a very simple box with the kind of artwork that I love, even though it seems simple. But another thing that I love about this cup, other than the branding, is that they do have the bag that it comes with that says, "We effing love it," for the Flove brand with the different vulva typefaces. And it says, "Go with the Flove." So I was confused about how to pronounce it because they do say "go with the Flove," which kind of would be like flow, so Flove, or is it love it with a So yes, that was why I wanted to check. It was a little confusing on that end. Now, what's in the box are either one of the sizes, so it comes in with a heavy or a light cup. You can also get a duo pack if you want to try both sizes to see which is going to work best for you. They do, on their website, size things by flow. So they'll say heavy or light, and it'll say how many teaspoons it holds. The light flow version holds 4 teaspoons. This holds 5 or 6 teaspoons. As you may know, I am not a huge fan of sizing cups based on flow. You need it to stay in place, you need it not to slip down, you need it not to be uncomfortable and too large or not open because it doesn't have room. So there's all these different reasons to pick based on size. They do say the heavy is better if you have had a pregnancy, and again, that's also not black and white. Maybe you've had one, but still size-wise need a small. That would be something I've already addressed in another YouTube video on sizing. If you need help picking a size, definitely check that out. I'll put it in the card, and it's on a YouTube channel. So the cups, let's talk about, and then I'll get to how they work for me. This heavy, which is in that really sweet pink color that I love so much, both of them, in terms of features, have this double rimmed, heavy, thick rim at the top. It's no firmer than the body itself. In fact, I would even argue that the rim is softer than the body, because right here at the bottom portion of the cup, it's got a lot thicker silicone that makes it more resistant and firm than this top part. And the cup itself, as a firmness, I would definitely say it's a 4, and even a pretty firm 4. So average firm, but on the even more firm part of that, I wouldn't argue it's a 5, but it's pretty close. And then the stem and the grip has really pronounced grips. both of them, and the stem itself is kind of thick, so if you don't like stems, it might be uncomfortable for you. Has really great branding. I really love their branding and their look, and the cup does have really nice big suction holes. You could probably even see them from a zoomed out view, which is how large they are. So there's that, and of course comparing side to side, light, heavy here. I'll give you a little look at something else. This is their heavy, larger size versus the salt regular size. They're very, very comparable in their length. The diameter, the rim of the salt's a little bit flared out more. This doesn't have a flare at the end. And this would be like a regular lunette. So it's very, very average in length. Light Flove, and then the small Lena, it is even a little shorter than that when you don't take into account the stem. And again, it does have a smaller diameter rim because it does not flare out like a lot of the other average cups do. The silicone has a texture to it, and I didn't realize that until I tried it because I just, don't spend a lot of time rubbing cups. So it's not something you can pick up on video, but it just has this very, very, very slight texture to it. But I actually quite like that there is a texture to it because it just makes it look and feel nice. Of course, it's not shiny because it has that matte, slight stippling texture. One of the things that I did really, really appreciate on their website, which is beautiful, I would definitely check it out because it's fun and interactive and lots of cool things on it, is that they have a goal to be extremely ethical, but also in a very upfront way. Something I super appreciate. That's kind of my jam, is just being upfront and honest. And so having them just say outright that, well, they definitely have not tested these products on animals or, do anything that can be considered cruel in the development of their cup. The historical development of medical grade silicone has involved animal testing. That's something I've really talked about here on the channel, and it's something I don't quite know when I learned that. Another brand told me this quite a while ago, so they don't feel comfortable themselves using the cruelty-free logo. They know that you can trace the development of medical grade silicone to animal testing. So they have benefited from that historically, so they can't say that just because their cup didn't use it doesn't mean it wasn't used. So that is the same. They say it right up front on their website, but they are designed in Norway and they are made in Taiwan. So they're very upfront about their manufacturing and where it is as well. For the review part, which is going to be very, very quick and easy. It's an average cup with an average bullet shape, and gosh darn it, it was an average cup for me. I do have issues with firmer menstrual cups slowing my urine stream. This is a historical thing. You can look back at my reviews. Lunette does it, even though I love Lunette. Lena does it, the classic Lena, the regular salt. All of these brands that I've tried that are this shape, that have some firmness to it, make me pee slow. It doesn't bother me. So it, doesn't make me have to pee. There's a difference. If it gave me urine or gave me bladder pressure, I would hate it because then I'd have to feel like I constantly had to pee, like it did when I tried the Marula one size. It gave me the absolute constant urge to urinate. Not the case with this. It just made me pee slower, and I did try the regular size, and that is what I would have expected to work, which it did. Some people were asking for a review on this cup specifically because they really wanted to see if this double-rimmed section here, almost like the rim on the Ziggy cup from Intimina, has like this double little wall. You kind of almost picture it like the jar, like the airtight jars, would be better for catching and preventing leaks. I can't really definitively say if that was the reason it worked well for me or not in terms of leak protection. It's just, I've tried cups that don't have it that work just as well. So it's not something I can say. It's because it has this double wall that it didn't leak. I can't say that. I like that it has these nice, easy to clean suction holes. It makes wearing one very easy because you just kind of run it under the water. But what I did notice is that when I took it out, there was stuff coming out from it already. Just something to point out. It could cause leaks for you. I'm not saying it can't, but I just know it didn't for me. Yeah, so I was okay with using it with the stem, but I definitely, lengthwise, it's just right at the tip of where it's too long with the stem, but luckily I was able to get past that. But I was able to keep the stem on and continue with the reviewing process, because when my cervix goes through the cycle, it gets higher, and so I have more space. But when it was at its lowest, I could just barely get this in to stay where the stem wasn't bothering me. So I would normally want to chop it off if, you know, I was going to continue using this every single cycle. That would be my ideal. And because it has these grippy rings, I can grip it without issue to get it out and break the seal. It does have like a really firm bottom part. So if this is the part that's pushing against where your bladder is in the positioning, it could make you feel like you have some pressure. And you always have the option for the smaller cup if that's going to be more comfortable for you, either because of bladder pressure or because of just the, you know, how it fits and sits inside of you and stays in place. You know, larger diameter cups, if they're too large, aren't going to open and aren't going to work well. So I guess I'll end it with saying my favorite thing about this cup is that they use their brand as kind of a verb. And so it's like, I effing love it, you know, something like that with a little asterisk. And so that is right up my alley. I've tried to cut back on my F words here, because not that I really care if people think less of me if I curse, but, you know, if there is a younger audience watching, maybe I should just curb my F-bombs slightly. But I do love my F-bombs, and this is a brand that embraces them just a little. So that is it for my review. I really just can only tell you that it worked, and it worked well, and it didn't leak, and it was fine. It made me pee slow, but that was about it. Nothing else really exciting to report, but I like showcasing brands that are not just from the US but abroad, giving you some ideas if you aren't in the US, maybe you're in Europe. This brand is very comparable to Lena, in my opinion, and Salt, with the exception of the flared rim, but their sizing is pretty close. So if maybe you took our quiz and you were recommended a regular Salt or a regular Lena, but you're in Europe, maybe this would be a good substitution for you. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing. And if you aren't subscribed, if you could do that, hit the subscribe button and say you want notifications. That would be awesome. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram, which is kind of where I like to hang. That's at Put a Cup in It. Just join us over there for pretty pictures of cups and some fun stories and gifts. And if you do need more menstrual cup help and you don't know where to turn, that is where our menstrual cup community on Facebook comes in handy. It's called Put a Cup in It Community. Just search that up and you'll be asked 3 questions to join. So I think that's it. I hope you're all staying safe and growing your hair, growing your roots. This is the best time to be a low maintenance person, because let me tell you, I don't do nails, I don't do Botox, I don't do waxes, and I don't do hair color. So the only thing that's happening for me is that my hair is ever so slowly getting longer. Thanks for watching. Bye. Don't know where that stopped recording, so we're gonna have to just pretend I didn't say a bunch of stuff and say all over again. That would be, with my southern accent, it's really like love. I'm feeling goofy today. Almost to that milestone. I can't.